He's deployed 2 aircraft carrier groups and other military assets to the region.
We'll have more on what to expect from President Biden's trip in just a moment. But first, just wanted to bring you some of this footage. A Sky News team in Tel Aviv was forced to duck for cover when air raid sirens rang out across the Israeli city. Our presenter, Anna Botting, was in a car with her team when the alert began.
So the sirens started running our vehicle, everyone comes out of the buses, everyone came out of their cars, they came down and they crouched on the floor like this, heads down, covering their heads, waiting for what happened next. And then you hear Israel's Iron Dome kicking off high in the sky. But an extraordinary reaction here in Tel Aviv. You know, you wonder if this happens all the time, or if now they're really fearful because of the number of Hamas rockets that are being fired from the Gaza Strip. But literally the whole bus is unloaded. Everybody on the pavement waiting to see what happens next. But once again, Israel's air defense shield holding back those rockets that are being fired once again into the largest city in Israel.
Well, that was our Anna Botting yesterday afternoon in Tel Aviv. Let's now get an update from our Alistair Bunkle from Jerusalem from just last hour.
I do think the Israelis, I think their position might have slightly shifted in the last 11 days after the initial sort of outright anger of what went on, where they might have been tempted to go at not just Hamas but Hezbollah as well. They've had the Americans in their ear trying to make sure that this is contained to Gaza and not elsewhere. And the Iranians are very worried that this is going to spill out. Of course, the Iranians are behind Hamas, they're behind Hezbollah, and they support them ideologically and militarily in that sense. But I don't, from what I'm hearing, think the Iranians want some sort of all-out conflict.
Just to be clear, this is not a preemptive action by Iran. This is preemptive action.
We don't think about their resistance movements now, and they don't label that Hezbollah, they don't label that Hamas, they don't label it anybody else. So it's a little bit unclear. One thing I would point out is that we've heard nothing from Hassan Nasrallah, who is the leader of Hezbollah. I think that's quite interesting. I think he's carefully watching what's happening and trying to calibrate his own response. And yes, we've seen quite a lot going on that border. But at the moment, the fire between the two sides has been contained to the border area, and it has been that usual, albeit far more regular, tactic of tit for tat. And that is messaging that both sides understand. Anything bigger, and that's where we get ourselves into dangerous territory.
Okay, now these reports of Israeli airstrikes in southern Gaza, these are the areas that the Israelis have asked people to move to from Gaza City and around the north there to the south, and now there are these reports of airstrikes, Israeli airstrikes. No word from the Israelis though this morning.
No, but we're hearing it from multiple channels coming out of Gaza, whether it's aid agencies, the United Nations, and UNRWA, their organisation that operates in Gaza, have said there have been airstrikes in and around Khan Yunis, which is the major city in the south, and others we're hearing it from. So they've asked Gazans in the north to push to the south, and now there are airstrikes continuing in the south, which means a lot of those residents are wondering why they made that journey in the first place and are potentially considering returning back home to the north. If they're going to live under airstrikes in the south or the north, you might as well do it closer to your own home. And it shows that there is no safe space in Gaza.
Mark Austin and Ali Bunkle there, in part previewing that trip that we've been telling you about. Tomorrow, the US President Joe Biden travelling to Israel and Jordan, where he will meet with Arab and Israeli leaders. Well, his first stop will be Tel Aviv to meet the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and he'll be briefed on Israel's war aims and strategy. The president will then travel to Jordan's capital, Amman, meeting with the country's King Abdullah. He'll also hold talks with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and discuss the broader situation with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. Well, coming up later this hour, I'll be speaking with the former US military commander and CIA director, General David Petraeus, 10:45 a.m. So stay tuned for that. Also, later today, a Sky News special programme on the Israel-Hamas war, live from Jerusalem at 9 o'clock with Anna Botting, and of course, ongoing coverage from our team on the ground there throughout the day. Now, Belgium's Interior Minister says a gunman suspected of killing 2 Swedish nationals in Brussels has been shot dead by police. Belgium media say that the gunman, Abdesalam El, was shot in a cafe in the Schaerbeek region of Brussels, just over 4.5 miles from the stadium. The attack took place before Belgium's Euro 2024 qualifier against Sweden last night. It was abandoned, the match, with authorities raising the terror alert in the capital to the highest possible level. Well, our Europe correspondent, Adam Parsons, has the latest for us.
Yeah, the shooting from the police happened just around the corner from where I'm standing here in an area called Schaerbeek. The man is called Abdesalam El, and it is understood that he has now died. It's not clear whether he died on the way to hospital or in hospital of the injuries that he sustained. He is clearly the person who carried out the killings in the centre of Brussels last night. 2 Swedish nationals, another person seriously injured, and he had been pursued over the course of the night. Now, we understand that he was seen on a bus this morning a little way away from here, that the other passengers and the driver recognised him. The bus stopped, he fled, came down the road here towards a cafe when he was shot. And we have spoken to a young man called Isiga who was on that bus, and he told us just a flavour of what it was like.
Comment dire ça? Il était devant, le chauffeur il l'a vu, il a appelé, du coup ils sont venus sur lui.
What do we know about this man? Well, as I said, he's been identified as Abdesalam El. It's believed he was 45 years old, a Tunisian national who had sought asylum here in Belgium, came here in 2019, and in 2020 his asylum claim, it is seen, was rejected. He's been living here illegally ever since. There are some suggestions that he was involved in human trafficking. We also know that he put out a message on social media yesterday to Islamic State while accepting responsibility for these killings. The city has raised its terror level to the highest possible level. It is a nervous place, but right now I think it is trying to take solace from the fact that this killer has been caught and has in fact died.
Adam Parsons there for us in Brussels. Lots more still to come here on Sky News today. Coming up as Israel's ground offensive in Gaza looms. What's the reason for the delay? We'll have reaction from military analyst Sean Bell. Sky News speaks to families of hostages being held by Hamas. And with Joe Biden due to travel to Israel tomorrow, I'll be joined by former US military commander and CIA director, General David Petraeus.
And data editor Ed Conway try and make sense of the big numbers for us.
Things can change incredibly quickly, and that's what they have done.
So, by the end, we'll hopefully all understand what's going on in the world just that little better. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Iran has warned that preemptive action could be expected in the coming hours and that Israel will face consequences if it moves closer to a ground offensive in Gaza. The Israeli military says it's doing everything it can to reduce collateral damage, but the country's former Prime Minister, Ehud Barak, told Sky's Mark Austin that the pressure's on for Israel to step up its military action as soon as possible.
Our legitimacy for action, we are aware of it, erodes along the way. We are now enjoying the support of the whole world. We won't have it in 2 weeks. So all this needs to complete the heart of the mission as early as possible, not as late as possible.
Well, let's bring in our military analyst, Sean Bell, who's here with me on set. So Sean, talk to us about the political pressures, both international and domestic, on Netanyahu about when he should be starting this potential ground offensive.
Yeah, good morning, Wilf. I mean, one of the issues inevitably in Netanyahu, from a domestic audience, will be wanted to be seen to be doing something. But we've seen huge political pressure, both international, particularly from the US. We've seen Lloyd Austin, we've seen the Antony Blinken doing a sort of rush whistle-stop tour of the Arab states and then come back yesterday to then have a discussion. And I don't think it's any coincidence that our President Biden's now announced that he's going to be visiting Wednesday. The real question, though, is why is he going and what's he going to achieve? Because as we've discussed before, there is a risk this provokes the issue rather than controls it. Now, one of the reasons almost certainly is from an international perspective. They want to avoid the ground offensive happening because it's going to be difficult. It's going to end up with a lot of casualties and potentially could prolong the conflict significantly. And besides, as a military guy, there is no military solution to this conflict. There's only going to be solved by political negotiation and compromise. So from a military perspective, I do understand why the international pressure is desperately seeking to find ways to stop this ground offensive simply be happening because Netanyahu wants to be seen to be doing something.
On the military side of things, if the ground offensive was a given, then does it make a difference, the timing of it, or have we already waited long enough to have had the benefits of the airstrikes?
Yeah, impossible to answer, but time is a major issue for this, no doubt. Every day that goes by, we're seeing the international community, the media, focusing more and more on the humanitarian issues and probably less diminishing sympathy for Israel's plight. And if you were going to have a military operation, you wanted to be swift and decisive. The trouble is, in this context, with a major military operation, swift probably means ill-considered, and that would be far worse than waiting. And decisive, we've said before, how are you actually going to destroy Hamas? You can take out some of its structures, but you can't obliterate it completely. And if the IDF, the Israelis, get dragged into that urban fight, they're going to take a lot of casualties, and that could be a very, very difficult fight for them. That's almost certainly why the IDF has been doing this bombing campaign. There were 6,000 bombs in 6 days, and they've continued at that rate. Incredibly massive destruction, but it protects their own soldiers. But, as I say, I wouldn't underestimate the pressure building on Netanyahu to be doing something. And I suspect that's why President Biden's going to try to, as a last chance saloon, to try to find some sort of way to avoid that.
Sure, as always, thanks so much. We're going to have a quick look at the weather now.
Warm memories wherever you go. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
It'll be mostly fine today, but Storm Babette will bring rain and strong winds to Ireland and then to much of the UK tomorrow. The afternoon will be rather cold.
To their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agent, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
The family, friends, and loved ones of Apostle Maknyako and Mrs. Victoria Abina Bosumpima wishes to invite friends, loved ones, the Christian community to the celebration of life. This will take place on the 10th of November 2023. Church service will be held at the Elim Pentecostal Church, West Croydon, Stanley Road. The postcode is CR03QA. Interment will take place at the Croydon Cemetery, Mitcham Road, London. The postcode CR93AT. A reception will follow, and that is from 3 p.m. at the Imperial Banqueting Hall, 31 Imperial Way, Croydon. The postcode once again CR04RR. It will be followed on Sunday, the 12th of November 2023, 11 a.m. with Thanksgiving service at the Numa Christian Center at 87 Beddington Lane, Croydon, CR04TD. The dress code for the funeral celebration is going to be black, but after the Thanksgiving is going to be black and white. All friends and sympathizers are cordially invited. For more information, please contact Evelyn 075 5463 8421. Kojo 073 7592 8737. Sheila 079 83 58 1818. Come and mourn with us as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Mark Nyakun and Mrs. Victoria Abena Bosumpima. See you all there, and God bless you.
See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend.
The best radio show.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it up? This is Starr Radio UK.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands. The hand that made me who I am. Same God now, yesterday, and forevermore. And that's what makes you great. You are God. You will never change. You remain the same till the end. Till the end. You are God. One who took my pain, took away my shame. Lord, you reign. That's why forever call you great. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great is to be praised. Great are you, Lord. Great are
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Tuesday edition of the Morning Show. Today is the 17th day of October, the year 2023. Time now 10:43 from the heart of London. Those of you who are following us on the Facebook for the first line of the broadcast, bringing you all the stories. Well, apparently we were broadcasting something that is encouraging or marginalizing people, so they had to take that visual or that broadcast off. That's why we have to restart another one. So my sincere apologies there if whatever we broadcasted has offended anybody. Yes, sincere apologies. But it's the news that is making the rounds across the globe, and that was what we were bringing your way. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Laimi Koiki, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Felix all the way in Aberdeen, Mr. Frank Davids in town as well. Kojo D, Kofi, Ali Abdul Yakin, Dr. Morton, all of you, Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama. Good morning to you all, guys. And let me also say good morning to Bishop Adeshina, Anthony Adedeji, Aziz, Tosino, all the way in Moscow. I salute you. Sir Maxwell Moyua, good morning to you. Olakunle, good morning. And my own Rachel, good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. Let me put it this way, all protocol observed wherever you are. Massive good morning, Reverend Dr. Francis Okonuno. Massive good morning to you, sir. And that's what makes you great. Okay, so from now till 12:30, I'm going to be your captain. I'm going to bring you everything that you need to know when it comes to the stories that is making the rounds. Unfortunately, if you look at the labeling of the program, you find out that Mr. Laimi Koike is not on. He's not going to be on today, but hopefully tomorrow he's going to be on. Well, you know, we are family inclined. Yeah. So this morning he has to see to some family issues, so he's not going to be with us. But this afternoon, exactly at 12:30, we'll be having, my apologies, 1:30, we'll be having the one and only BB Clement coming your way once again with BB Means Business. Great is to be praised. Great are you, Lord. So what it's left for you to do is just to stay in touch and in tune. Don't you go anywhere and just enjoy the ride. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. All of you makes you. And once again, I say a massive So by way of program, I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. Move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. Then from there, we'll look at the updates from Nigeria. As I said, ones that Olayomi Koiki has posted or sent to us. We're going to be bringing that your way. Like I said, God willing, tomorrow, if he's with us, he'll be bringing you all the other stories that's making the rounds. Then we'll move on from there exactly to after the update from Nigeria, we'll look at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. You can also share with us what is happening in your area as well. Why not? So the show continues at 12 o'clock. The lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussion, and exactly at 12:30 we'll bring the curtains down for the end of the program. So in Nigeria, that's what's going to happen today. So wherever you are, once again, welcome to the show and keep your dial so logged on Starr Radio UK. After all, it is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Welcome on board. Holy, holy. So the quote for the day says what? It says your level of success will be determined by the problems you are willing to solve for others, not yourself, but to solve for others. Love for you, right? That is a level of success. That's how people are going to determine how successful you have been. So you have all that money and you are keeping it in your Valentine tide or just keeping it in your pockets, not sharing it. People would, you're not helping people to solve their problems out, then you are not doing good. Like some of our politicians are doing, taking all the money and stashing it in their homes. Okay, so moving on straight to the weather front. Well, autumn has properly landed, so we are enjoying the autumnal weather. But let me tell you what is going to happen today. It's a bit milder than it's been for the past couple of days. Well, it will be dry with sunny spells this afternoon. The sunshine will be hazy at times due to areas of high cloud. Thicker cloud move in later. Breezy easterly winds expected as well. Tonight will be increasingly windy. Cloud will continue to increase from the southwest. though a few clear spells are expected to develop through the early hours. A chance of shower later expected as well. Top temperature is going to be 15 degrees, the lowest is going to be 10 degrees. Pollution is going to be low, UV level is going to be moderate. Sunset 18:04 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07:30, 27 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, what's there? Let's quickly bring you the travel updates. What is happening in your travels? It is Star Radio UK.
This is Star Radio UK.
So on the major roads in London, apart from the central London red routes that got serious delays, all the others have got good service. Now on the underground this morning, the Central Line, Elizabeth Line, Jubilee and Piccadilly lines have all got minor and severe delays respectively, so check and avoid it if you can. That aside, all the others good service. DLR, London Tram Link, London Overground, good service there. The Woolwich Ferry is still running a reduced service, but that aside, all the other lines or services are running. RB1, RB2, RB4, RB6 Thames River services are running a good service there. Okay, that's for the river bus. Now moving on straight to the London cable car. There's planned closures there as well, as I did say yesterday. IFS Cloud Greenwich, between Greenwich Peninsula and IFS Cloud Royal Docks, there are issues there, so please, if you can avoid them, do your best to avoid them. Now that brings us straight to the final segment of the travel update. That's the National Rail. I'm going to tell you which ones are running a good service. So C2C, Chiltern Railways, East Midlands Railway, First Hour Trains, Grand Central, Great Northern, Island Line, Merseyrail, Southwestern Railway, Southeastern and West Midlands trains are all running good service. So any name that's not mentioned means that it's running either minor, special or severe delay. So check before you leave. So on that note, as I would normally do, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes, you got it, on the road. The family, friends, and loved ones of Apostle Maknyako and Mrs. Victoria Abena Bosumpima wishes to invite friends, loved ones, the Christian community to the celebration of life. This will take place on the 10th of November 2023. Church service will be held at the Elim Pentecostal Church, West Croydon, Stanley Road. The postcode is CR0 3QA. Interment will take place at the Croydon Cemetery, Mitcham Road, London. The postcode CR9 3AT. A reception will follow, and that is from 3 p.m. at the Imperial Banqueting Hall, 31 Imperial Way, Croydon. The postcode once again CR04RR. It will be followed on Sunday, the 12th of November 2023, 11 a.m. with Thanksgiving service at the Numa Christian Center at 87 Beddington Lane, Croydon, CR04TD. The dress code for the funeral celebration is going to be black, but as for the Thanksgiving, it's going to be black and white. All friends and sympathizers are cordially invited. For more information, please contact Evelyn 075 5463 8421. Kojo 073 7592 8737. Sheila 079 83 58 1818. Come and mourn with us as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Abena Bosompima. See you all there, and God bless you.
See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. As you heard this afternoon, exactly at 1:30, BB Clement will be coming away with BB Means Business. So join her. That program comes away every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. All right then. So now let's move on straight to some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. That is Global Trotting at 10:56. Yes, by the time we should have been there. But hey, don't you worry. I'm gonna make sure I deliver on my promise. I'm not a politician. I'm here to deliver on my promise. The Senate President instigated my sack. Senator Abo alleges and Akere Dolo's absence. PDP kicks as please seal of Secretariat. And why we can't return $9.7 million or 74,000 pounds seized from ex-NNPC GMD. Why can't they return it? I'll be telling you more about all that's quite an interesting one. In Nigeria, Tinubu secures 1.5 billion zero interest World Bank loan. Well, I'm going to get value for money when they say zero interest. So somebody will say that's good. Nigeria's inflation hits 26.72% as food prices rise, and Women Affairs Minister to sue UN over MGT of donor funds or management of donor funds. Now, Nigeria Red Cross to raise 23 billion naira against hunger crisis in Nigeria. Bayelsa Diri first term has raised bar of good governance. The PDP saying intervene in Nepal's crisis. Coalition tells Tinubu, and this is character assassination. Peter Obi's eldest brother is alive. Labour Party knocks Araba me. Nigeria US agree on the digitalization, cloud-based data integration training for police force, and UI Senior Staff Club celebrates Zanussi at 55. Nigeria's inflation rate hits 26. As I said, drug war. NDLEA takes sensitization to PACs, strengthens collaboration with NURTW. And then in some other stories, Nigeria, US to strengthen collaboration. As I did say earlier on, Akpabio has no hand in your removal. Aid replied, sacked Senator Abo. Why was he sacked? We'll be bringing you more about that. And Southeast Reconciliation disgruntled PDP members from Labour Party, NNPC, APC, says Governor Mba. Okay, this and a lot more going to be coming your way from there. So stay tuned, don't you go away. In other parts of Africa as well, what is happening there? Nigeria, Kano State holds mass wedding for 1,800 couples. Well, if that will help, why not? Okay, interesting one there. Somaliland children educated impacted by recurring drought, and Kenyan faces moderators accuse Meta of apologies. Let me take it again. Kenyan Facebook moderators accuse Meta of not negotiating sincerely. And then Angola president delivers State of the Nation's address amid political tension. Angola's president stressed on Monday the importance of reconciliation and progress during the State of the Nation's address. Joao Lourenco's address. I will bring you more about that. And U.S. peacekeepers begin sensitive pull out of camps. Where? I'm going to tell you more about all that as we go on. All right. Close race between Liberia's president and opposition leader in presidential poll is one of the results. Liberia's election commission finalizing results of Tuesday, and Senegal drowns in plastic. Well, but close race between Liberia's president and opposition leader. We'll be telling you more about that as the information trickles in. Now, is it okay for a president to make this statement? If it was about who votes for me, I shouldn't be here. When the people find themselves in dire straits, you're a president of the nation, you're supposed to be everywhere or anywhere there is a chaos to help the people out. But that doesn't seem to be the situation, and we have the president making that statement. He tells Akosombo Dam spillage victims that if we were left to vote, then I wouldn't have been here. But what do you think about that? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. It is All Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, leak tape scandals has been a blessing to me. COP Alex Mensah. How? Why? When? Well, interesting. Now, police service cannot do anything to me. COP Alex Mensah, retired, is saying. It's because he's saying that I'm now retired, so you can't do me any harm. But I will be looking at that. And the hearing that seems to be going on in Parliament. How do you see that? The Kufuor and Bawumia are active promoters of Galamsey. The NDC are saying. What do you think about that? Okay. It is all coming away from your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I chose shoemaking over pharmacy despite disrespect and mockery. Royal Diadem Footwear Garage CEO has said. Well. He thought pharmacy. I want to just be a shoemaker. And you know, everybody needs a shoe. Or is it because people want to buy shoes from Italy and all that, those advanced countries and stuff like that? That's what make people behave that way. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay. Mosquito has vowed to ensure John Mahama never becomes president again. And you know who he's saying? He's alleged. Now, why is he saying so? Well, I'll be telling you more about all that as the program goes on. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In other parts of the world as well, Biden is confirmed to visit Israel tomorrow as Iran warns against Gaza offensive. The U.S. president will visit Israel on Wednesday as tensions grow in the wider region and food and fuel run low in Gaza. In some other stories, British team. Okay, let me just try to capture it that way for you. Now, police shoot dead Brussels attacker who killed Swedes. Now, it follows Monday night incident in the Belgian capital where 2 Swedish nationals were killed. Now, Indian judges declined to legalize same-sex marriage in India. And Belt and Road is China's $1 trillion gamble worth it. That is a situation, and that is where we had some of the African leaders going to for that Belt and Road summit. It's the 10th anniversary of that. And Europe shaking after a double shooting in Brussels. And last words of 9th U.S. Muslim boy, "Mom, I'm fine." Okay. And then Trump gets gag order in 2020 elections meddling case. Okay. But would he even adhere to that? Well, the more the Ghanaian policy, they say that more. He goes on doing so. Okay, and then in Poland, the Polish opposition are eyeing power after the pivotal election. How is it all going to be panning out for them? We'll be following it very closely and we'll tell you more about all that as the program unfolds. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. Now straight to the UK. A British teen missing in Hamas attack confirmed dead. Family has said Yael 13, who went missing with sister Noya, was killed in the assault on Israel, her relatives have said. And wages outpaced price for first time in 2 years. Average pay growth outpacing inflation suggests the squeeze on living costs may be starting to ease. Well, a Rolls-Royce to ask up to 2,500 jobs to cut costs. Boy. The engineering giant says redundancies will be made worldwide as part of a move to cut costs. Now, Scotland's biggest offshore wind farm at full power, Seagreen, off the Angus coast, can generate enough electricity to power 2/3 of Scotland's households. That's a good one for them, isn't it? And would that come at a lower price? Why not? That of woman killed by police car won speed cap. Jade Mutua, 22, was killed by a police car going 62 miles in a 30 miles per hour zone moment before it hit her. Now the question is, when you hear a police car coming, what do? There are some who want to know, they hear that and they want to quickly cross the road or something. Is that what happened? Or was she on her headphones or something of the sort? What exactly took place there? I'm going to tell you more about that in a moment. But wherever you are, don't you go away. It is Starr Radio UK. We're going to be enjoying some music. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. This is from Shadrach Mesa, and it's in the Winners Chapel International tema, where he said, "My life is in your hands." Bringing that tune to you. So enjoy it, and I'll be with you. Stay tuned, and don't you go away.
Somebody shout! Lift it up, lift it up. Come on. Said you don't have to worry. Never, never be afraid. Don't you be afraid. Yeah. Joy comes in the morning. Troubles, they don't last always. Did you know that? Oh, there's a friend in Jesus. Always wiping tears. Will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken. Everybody, what you gonna do? Just lift your hands and say you don't have to worry. Don't have to worry. Mana matita. Don't you be afraid. Joy comes in the morning. Joy comes in the morning. Trouble never lasts always. Troubles they don't last always. Hey, did you know that? Oh, there's a friend named Jesus. Will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, everybody, what you gonna do? Just lift your hands and say I know. Everybody say I know that I can make it. No matter what, come on, Jesus my Lord. Say with Jesus, I can take it. With him I know. I can stand. No. Come on. Jesus my Lord. Oh Jesus, I can take it. He will never leave you nor forsake you. I know I can stand. No. Come on. Jesus my Lord. Weeping may come for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Do you believe that? And the muscle, a piece. Only go sasa. Masasa my teacher. All of teacher. Teacher. I'm a teacher. There's a teacher. Hey, somebody shout. So when you're tests and trials, they seem to get you down. To all your friends and loved ones, all your friends and loved ones, I know it to be found. Now listen, remember there's a friend. Remember there's a friend named Jesus who will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, this is what you got to do. Just lift your hands and say, so when your tests and trials, they seem to get you down. To all your friends and loved ones, your friends and loved ones, I know where to be found. I know where to. Remember there's a friend. There's a friend in Jesus. We love you, Jesus. And if your heart is broken, everybody lift your hands and say, say your no, say your no. I know that I can make it.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
Don't be afraid. Jesus more. Yes, with Jesus. With Jesus I can take it. With him I know. With him I know I can take it. No. May come my way. Jesus more. Life is in your hands. No matter what. May come your way. The Lord will give you a testimony. I said God will give you a testimony. No matter what. My Lord. No matter what may come your way. Don't be afraid. Somebody shout. Somebody Jesus. Send the Jesus. Send the Yahweh. Send the Yahweh. Say Yah. Say Yah. Say boo boy. Say boo boo. Say Amma. Go sasa. Messense baby. Lomo tosito. Osi setete. Odi go. No.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, Don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Star Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As I did say earlier on, Mr. Laimi Koiki cannot be with us. Family issues, he needs to see to some staff at home, so he's not going to be joining us. But tomorrow, God willing, he should be able to join us there. Good. All right then. So it is now time for me to bring you all the updates from Nigeria. So wherever you are, maybe you are listening to us, and where you are, you can actually you have some information that you want to share with us. Feel free and share it with us. And I make sure that I share, I acknowledge you, and also share with the general public as well, viewers and listeners there as well. Okay. Now let's come on to the story that is making the rounds from Nigeria. Senate President instigated my sack. Senator Abo alleges. The senator representing Adamawa North, Senator Elisha Abo, who was sacked by the appeal court on Monday, has accused the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, as the mastermind of his ouster. From the Red Chamber, Senator Abo made the allegation while speaking with journalists in Abuja shortly after the Court of Appeal's judgment. The three-member panel of the court, led by Justice C. Nwozo Eheme, and in a judgment, ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to issue a certificate of return to Amos Yohana of the People's Democratic Party as a validly elected lawmaker for the senatorial district. The Senator Abo, who further alleged that 4 other senators have been targeted for removal from the Red Chamber, said they were being hounded because they opposed Senator Akpabio's emergence as Senate President in the election conducted last June. He said, I have it from a reliable source, and a very highly placed one for that matter, that myself and 4 other senators within the fold of the ruling All Progressive Congress will be removed from the Senate through rulings from the courts, all because of working against the emergence of Akpabio as president of the 10th Senate. I won't mention the names of all the 4 other ones targeted, but the next in line is Senator Oji Uzo Kalu. Now he said Senator Abo, whose victory was upheld by the election petition tribunal and dismissed the petition of the People's Democratic Party for lack of merit, said the judgment of the Court of Appeal was strange. The court judgment is strange, and the judiciary needs to remain the last hope of the common man. For President Bola Tinubu, I must declare that this is not the democracy he fought for, and that he should please lead in protecting it. While appealing to his supporters to be calm, Senator Abo said he would seek a return to the Senate in 2027. Senator Akpabio, however, dismissed his involvement in the political travail of Senator Abo. Speaking with the Nigerian Tribune in a telephone interview, the Honorable Eseme Eyibo, Special Advisor, Media and Publicity to the President of the Senate, denied the involvement of his principal. Now he said it is unfortunate if he actually said that Akpabio was responsible for his removal. That's the song of a man looking for scapegoats. The Court of Appeal across the country decides cases based on the provisions of the Electoral Act and the evidence advanced by petitioners. The Senate President has no reason to witch hunt any of their colleagues there. That is what it is saying. So well, he said, I mean, he's taking it in a good faith though, that he's not going to, he didn't say that he was going to appeal, or he was just telling his supporters to calm, and that he was going to return in 2027. So he says, give me another 4 years, and I will be there. But what do you think about that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Akeredolo's absence. PDP kicks as please seal of secretariat. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Ondo State yesterday staged a protest against the sealing off of its party secretariat following a planned protest against the continued absence of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu in the state after his return from medical vacation abroad. The security operatives comprising operatives of the Nigeria Police Force, NPF, the Department of State Security, DSS, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, laid siege to the PDP secretariat from 6:30 a.m. yesterday. The Vanguard reporting said that the sealing of the party's secretariat was sequel to a planned protest by the PDP members against the absence of the governor since he returned to the country after his medical vacation abroad. Now, despite the sealing of its secretariat, PDP members and leaders went ahead with the protest asking Akeredolu to resume in the state or resign. Since he returned from the medical vacation, the governor has remained in his Ibadan residence where he is said to be receiving treatment. So, if ill health cannot actually give you the chance to go on, people's lives have to go on. What do you think about that? Or you still want to take some leave? But I remember that there was that banter between him and his deputy, and he wanted his deputy sacked or something of the sort, that he wanted his deputy to resign. But this is a case where you are still receiving treatment and you are not back to full capacity, and people are saying you better come here, do your diligence, or we want you out, or you can resign. What do you think? It will be recalled that the All Progressive Congress and the PDP have been engaging in war of words over alleged plans to instigate crisis following the continued absence of Governor Akeredolu in the state. While the APC said it uncovered plans by the opposition party to instigate crisis in the state to devalue the party ahead of next year's governorship election, the PDP dismissed the allegation. But faulting the disruption of the protests and sealing off of its party secretariat, the publicity secretariat of the PDP, Mr. Kennedy Perete, argued that Governor Akeredolu has not been seen in Ondo State since April this year. Now, Perete said a combined team of police, DSS men, and anti-cultist unit of the Nigerian police stormed the Ondo State PDP secretariat with armored personnel carrier, APC, more than 8 Hilux vehicles, and nearly 400 men in all to seal off the secretariat to stall a PDP youth wing protest to demand the whereabouts of Governor Akeredolu. It took frantic efforts of members of the PDP State Working Committee before the secretariat gate was opened amidst serious tension and confrontation. Photojournalists were threatened to stop recording anything lest their cameras were smashed. But as the PDP youth forced themselves into the secretariat, proceedings on the street protest would amount to daring the trigger-happy police to do their worst. As much as the officers tried to stop the protest, they failed because the youth displayed their banners and placards to journalists who gained entrance into the secretariat. As we speak, the policemen are still in front of the secretariat with their vehicles. I want to use the medium to appeal to the Inspector General of Nigerian Police and the Commissioner of Police Ondo State's command to immediately withdraw their men from our secretariat. We cannot be intimidated by security agents who are paid with taxpayers' money. We have the right to demand whereabouts of the governor if he is missing in action. Early on Sunday, the APC spokesman in a fear-laden statement accused the PDP of instigating a crisis in Ondo State. We make bold to say the presence of the security men is not unconnected with the APC's fear of its shadow and their failure to get Akeredolu to come to Ondo State for the assignment he was elected for. Let it be known to all that we shall continue to demand for Akeredolu to resume or resign until it is achieved. Well, because Akeredolu belongs to the APC, that's what I wanted to find out. He belongs to the APC, but it looks like now because of his ill health, he cannot be there Okay, and then the PDP are saying, guys, come on, let the person come, let's see the person in action. But so that means that is a deputy. If you are listening to me and you hear from that side, is a deputy from PDP. And that seemed to be causing the banter, because it looked like when he was away, the deputy was trying to take some actions. And when he came in, he said, no, he wants the deputy sacked or something of the sort. But what do you think about all that? Let me hear from you. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria. In other stories making the line, why we can't return $9.7 million? £74,000 seized from ex-NNPC GMD EFCC is saying. Now, why? The Abuja, the Economic and Finance Crimes Commission, EFCC, yesterday gave reasons it withheld alleged stash loot that its operatives recovered from the homes of a former group managing director of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, Mr. Andrew Yakubu. Yakubu served as the General Managing Director of the NNPC between 2012 and 2014. Boy, 2 years. Oh boy, that is a good income, right? Okay, the EFCC, through its lawyers, Mr. Farouk Abdullah, told the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja that it has gone before the Court of Appeal to set aside the judgment that dismissed a money laundering case it instituted against the former NNPC boss. Now, according to the commission, since the seized funds are still subject of an ongoing litigation before the appellate court, it would be wrong to return them back to Yakubu. Consequently, it prayed the High Court to dismiss an application the SY NNPC GMD filed to compel it to return the funds to him. It will be recalled that the anti-graft agency had, on the strength of a tip-off by a whistleblower, raided Yakubu's guest house situated at Sabon Tasha, Kaduna State in 2017 and discovered the sum of £9.7 million and £74,000, which he hid in a fireproof safe inside the house. Subsequently, the Federal High Court in Kano on February 13, 2017 granted an interim order for the recovered monies to be forfeited to the federal government. The Court of Appeal, sitting in Kaduna in 2018, upheld the forfeiture order. However, following his arraignment on money laundering charge, Yakubu told the trial court that the seized monies were part of the gifts he received on various occasions. He told the court that people gave him monetary gifts on occasions such as birthdays, Thanksgiving services, and other celebrations he hosted after he left service. Boy, I think some of us are joking, If somebody goes to events like that and they can end within 2 years or whatever time, $9.7 million. There are the people who invite him to come and speak or do stuff. Actually, let me put it this way, bloody loaded, right? Boy, oh boy. But somebody say this one is not a politician, but somewhere they come because they are all political appointments one way or the other. But thinking about it, that's what an interesting one, is it? Isn't it? Well, the Vanguard as well also have a story. Tinubu securing a $1.5 billion zero interest World Bank loan. The second Federal Executive Council meeting took up the issue of the economy as the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, announced that President Bola Tinubu administration has secured $1.5 billion zero interest World Bank loan. The Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, disclosed this in the State House correspondent after the FEC meeting in Abuja yesterday. Mr. Wale Edun said the FEC meeting approved the application for financing from the World Bank's International Development Association, IDA. Now, he said the country was able to access $1.5 billion from the IDA, which is virtually free of zero interest lending arm of financing arm of the World Bank. Nigeria has been able to make the kind of macroeconomic moves to take the tough decisions to restore balance in the economy in the government's finances that have warranted support. This had endangered support from the multilateral development banks. It is on the basis that the World Bank is willing to consider and to process on our behalf 1.5 billion of the concessional financing, relatively cheap financing, and financing that will be dispersed relatively quickly, he said. Edun said that another $80 million in financing from the African Development Bank was approved by the FEC for the Ekiti Knowledge Zone project aimed at empowering the youth in the sector of knowledge economy through technology and communications generally. He said this is basically to support young people and their quest to take on technology, to use it to be employed and to be trained and to benefit from being part of the knowledge economy. Now, it's all well and good, right? All well and good. But however, the situation or the question is, will it get to the right places? Will the right people get their hands on it? What do you think about that? Let me hear from you. So come your way from Starr Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria at 11:30. And we have got more stories coming your way. Well, as I did say, the Federal Executive Council has approved a 30-day implementation plan for the Memorandum of Understanding the federal government entered with the organized labor. This was disclosed on Monday by the Minister of Labor and Employment, Simon Lalong. Now, briefing State House correspondent at the end of the cabinet meeting, presided over by President Bola Tinubu at the council chamber, Presidential Villa, Abuja, Lalong said a memorandum was presented to the FEC on the implementation of the agreement with labor. Now, we presented a memo from the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, and the memo was basically on the agreement between the government and labor. You are already aware that 15 items are part of the agreement, but we went beyond mere agreement. We told them that something different this time is happening, because one part of the agreement is to file it in the court of law, which we have set the process already, and the other one was the presidential approval. There cannot be any presidential approval more than the Federal Executive Council. So we presented them to the Federal Executive Council. We analyzed every aspect of the agreement to show its genuineness and also provide for harmonious and good industrial relationship, and that's why it was presented and it was approved for implementation. It was agreed that within 30 days there must be evidence of implementation, and that was the basis of presenting to the Federal Executive Council the memo. The Federal Executive Council also approved it, and within 30 days we will go on with the implementation of the agreement between labor and government, he said. Listeners, Starr Radio UK. In Bayelsa as well, during first term has raised bar of good governance. That's what the PDP are saying, with the November 11 governorship election fast approaching. Leaders of the People's Democratic Party in the South on Monday said Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doye Diri has raised the bar of good governance and leadership in his first term in office. They made the remark when the PDP National Vice Chairman Chief Dan Obi led the Zonal Working Committee of the party on a solidarity visit to the government house, Yanagwa, the state's capital. A statement by the governor's spokesman, Mr. Daniel Albara, quoted Obi as saying that the party was impressed that Governor Diri has been been inaugurating projects while campaigning for re-election. Well, it's all well and good. At times they use those undertakings or projects to boost their chances of winning an election. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now, interesting as well, Nigeria needs 23 billion against hunger crisis in the country. About 1,092,300 people will benefit from the aid the organization is saying. As part of efforts to end the hunger crisis in Nigeria, the International Federation of Red Cross has launched an emergency appeal to raise 23 billion to support Nigerian Red Cross Society. The head of the delegation for the humanitarian network, Bupinda Toma, made this known at the media chart in Abuja on Monday. Mr. Toma said Nigeria is currently facing an unprecedented hunger crisis this year. Hence, they need to support those unsure of where the next meal will come from. He said about 1,092,300 people will benefit from the aid. We are trying to raise 27 million safer to support the hunger crisis in the country, he said. About the 1.09 million will receive the aid in the form of cash assistance, food and nutrition, water, sanitation, and hygiene. In his remarks, the president of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, Oleyemisi Adiega, said rising number of people experiencing food insecurity is a threat to the country's peace and stability. Mr. Adiega said Nigeria, like every other great nation, must prioritize the food needs of its citizens. He said addressing hunger in the nation is not a matter of dignity but a matter of urgent national security. He goes on further to say, we call on all well-meaning people and organizations to join the efforts of the Nigerian Red Cross Society to bring relief to some of the most vulnerable members of our society who now face the human indignity of not knowing where their next meal will come from, he said. Now, interestingly, but I'm looking at this story and looking at the fact that should it happen that this like the NNPC former boss having gifts of $9 million and 74,000 pounds. If there are people like that who have been giving him gifts, that's what he said. So you can take it with a pinch of salt, though. If that's what he said, now let those ones contribute to alleviate the hunger and poverty of ordinary Nigerians there. What do you think about all that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Well, police have arrested officers for extorting journalists in Plateau. The Plateau State Command of the Nigerian Police Force has identified and arrested its officers who extorted some journalists of 100,000 naira in Jos, the state capital. Confirming the development on Tuesday, the State Police Commissioner CP Okoro Julius said the arrested officers are attached to the anti-kidnapping unit of the State Police Command. Information coming through said that the complainants had approached the command to allege that some officers exhausted a sum of 500,000 from them on October 15, 2023. The police commissioner who intervened in the matter, however, said the command found out during the investigation that the officers had collected 100,000 instead and not 500,000 as reported by some media outlets. The CP Julius said the money has since been recovered and returned to the complainants. And what is going to happen to the police force? The police boss, who frowns at the unprofessional conduct of the affected officers, assures Plateau residents that his administration will not harbor bad eggs in his command. He therefore ordered the OC provost of the command to commence orderly room trial of the officers with immediate effect. Well, I have a fine picture of a police officer receiving cash. I don't know. I think he was presenting the cash to the journalist. He was presenting that 100,000 to the journalist. As whether it was 100,000 as the journalist as it's been proposed by the boss, or it's 500,000 as the journalist said or the complainant said, is another issue there. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A couple of stories and then we'll bring that update to a close there. And this time around, the Women Affairs Minister is to sue UN management of donor funds. The Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaniye, yesterday asked the United Nations to publish monies collected from donors for the benefit of Nigerians in 30 days or risk a legal action by the ministry. The minister stated this in an interview. Now, Kennedy Ohaninye claimed that the United Nations had not been transparent in the manner in which they utilized funds they got from donations for Nigerians. The minister gave the UN a month ultimatum, which runs from the 16th of October to the 15th of November. She announced that she was working on a pre-action notice to be served on the UN. She said, "And I stand here as a Minister of Women's Affairs to demand from all the UN that we want account of all the money they source from donors in the name of Nigeria." My apologies. We want to see the account of it, and if you don't give us this account, at least let Nigerians see what has been going on. Then you plead with them, apologize to them, and change your ways. Now, from the 16th of October to November 15th, if we don't see these reports published for Nigerians to see, we are heading to the court. From the 16th of October to November 8th, they get our pre-action letters. In the court, she continues, that is to prepare them on the 15th. We are heading to the court, and I'm promising Nigerians that immediately it is that 15th, by the next day, you will hear the sealed number, and all of you, we will gather to that place for the case to come on and call for them to defend the money they are using you to collect from donors. Well, it's quite an interesting one. It's quite an interesting one, isn't it? But I don't know how that is going to be panning out for them. If you look at the one-time corruption that goes on in a state, I'm looking at that case of the former NPPC's what do you call it? NNPC, is it? Yeah, Nigeria National Petroleum Company boss, and the fact that he is saying that look, all this money, it's not a small money, $9 million pounds and 74,000. $9 million and 74,000 pounds. He said they are all gifts. What kind of work are you doing that you get gifts to that tune? So you see, as I said, I think some of us are wasting our times. We need to go do some work. That every one of you online listening to us, watching us, give me that gift and I'll be free, right? But I'll still come here because I love you. I need to be here to bring you everything that we can interact there. What about that? Listeners, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. One more from there, and then we bring the updates to close from there. Okay, and this pertains to the NDLEA drugs. Okay, just bear with me. I seem to be hearing some sound coming through. Can you hear any sound coming through? No. Okay, let's move on. Okay, maybe I can hear from heaven. Yes. All right then. So one final story, and then we'll bring the update from Nigeria to go. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency said it has intensified sensitization programs at motor parks and strengthened collaboration with the National Union of Road Transport Workers, particularly in the sharing of information. Kabir Sakuwa, commander of the Narcotics FCT Command, said this is the new agency of Nigeria. On Tuesday in Abuja, Mr. Sakuwa said the support of transport union members at one of the motor parks recently led to an interception of a large consignment of tramadol and other drugs. Now, he, however, said that suspects in connection to the 6 drugs were arrested, adding that they had already been charged to court. Now, according to him, NDLEA maintains sustainable raid operations not only at motor parks and roadsides, but all the identified black spots within the FCT, and that's the Federal Capital, and its environs where drug activities are noticed. The internally displaced persons camps and suburbs particularly are as well raided at all times to dislodge all criminals who may want to take advantage of the locations. Now, the record of arrest and seizure this year so far is a clear indication of the work being done day and night within the FCT and its environs. He said, Mr. Takuwa said the NDLEA had created operational outposts in some motor parks and other places like Apo, Woze, Zone 4, Area 1 Park, Tarabora, Banex, Guarimpa, Jabi, and Karu Abator. He said that the places were some of the areas where drug activities were relatively high within the FCT. Efforts is ongoing to create more outposts as directed by the NDLEA chairman, retired Brigadier General Buba Mawa. He said the NDLEA boss said that the command had created special squads that worked around the clock to deal with actionable intelligence in real time. This is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, and this is why I bring the updates from Nigeria to a close. We're going to take a break, and then once we come back, we continue with the show. So stay tuned, and don't you touch the dial.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Toe dog.
bẹ̀rẹ̀ fún kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀ rárá kò jọra. Ọmọ ojú wa dìde ó sì gbọ́ ẹ̀tọ́ bàbá rẹ̀. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ìlú tán lọ́rùn fẹ́ lọ lọ́rùn yọ. Èyí tó yàn ló tún ṣe lọ́gàn. Bàbá fẹ́ wá, ó tún yọ wá. Wọ́n ṣe wá lọ́gàn, ó tún wá fálùmọ́ nísìn. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ọlọ́run dìde jọ̀wọ́ má ṣe wòran mọ́. Ìyà ìsọ̀kẹ́ kò pọ̀ jù lórílẹ̀-èdè. Ṣé bí wọ́n ló gbé àwọn ebèrú dìjà? Bàbá mi dìde jọ̀wọ́ jẹ́rìí ara rẹ̀. Èmi ò mọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Sọ́wọ́rọ̀ yìí. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Èmi ò pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ìbá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ìtùnú sílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí. Àní ọmọ aládé jẹun bí irun.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Ọmọ aláṣọ wáyé wá kí sá. Ọmọ alágbẹ̀dọ̀ àìsàn náà rẹ̀. Òye pa wá bí ẹni pẹ̀rù. Òye tún wọn tàbí ní ìtúṣu. Ọlọ́run kojú wọn lẹ̀ lásán yàn. Yẹtí sí gbé mi àwọn aláìṣẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ máa pè é rà.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
The family, friends, and loved ones of Apostle Maknyako and Mrs. Victoria Abina Bosumpima wishes to invite friends, loved ones, the Christian community to the celebration of life. This will take place on the 10th of November 2023. Church service will be held at the Elim Pentecostal Church, West Croydon, Stanley Road. The postcode is CR0 3QA. Interment will take place at the Croydon Cemetery, Mitcham Road, London. The postcode CR9 3AT. A reception will follow, and that is from 3 p.m. at the Imperial Banqueting Hall, 31 Imperial Way, Croydon. The postcode once again CR04RR. It will be followed on Sunday, the 12th of November 2023, 11 a.m. with Thanksgiving service at the Numa Christian Center. 87 Beddington Lane, Croydon, CR04TD. The dress code for the funeral celebration is going to be black. But as for the Thanksgiving, it's going to be black and white. All friends and sympathizers are cordially invited. For more information, please contact Evelyn 075 5463 8421. Kojo 073 7592 8737. Sheila 079 83 58 1818. Come and mourn with us as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Mark Nyakun and Mrs. Victoria Abena Bosumpima. See you all there, and God bless you.
See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly Tick 5 minutes to the top of the hour, and it is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Let me announce the lines open and then we can crack on. Now, if you want to join in the conversation this morning, yes, feel free to do so. Call us on 0208 133 2257. 0208 133 2257. Yes, and then let's or you want to text or WhatsApp us is 0753966174 0753966174, and then you can X us or tweet at us. It's at Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com as it has been. Okay, so how do we, or what do we look at next? Is all coming your way, so don't turn the dial at all. I'm going to make sure I bring you everything that you need to know. But wherever you are, remember this afternoon exactly at 1:30, we'll be having Baby Clement coming your way with Baby Means Business. So make a date with her when she comes your way. Okay? So wherever you are, don't you touch the dial. Don't you touch the dial. But let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so when it comes to other stories that is making the round this morning, that is from across the globe, this is what I have for you still on the African continent. Interestingly, a Somali TV journalist have been killed in Mogadishu suicide bombing. Abdi Fattah Molim No case, who worked for Somali cable television, was fatally injured in the explosion at Blue Sky restaurant near the National Studios, and I will tell you more about that in the next few moments. And then Kenya Facebook moderators accuse Meta of not negotiating sincerely. The lawyer representing 184 former Facebook content moderators based in Kenya who sued the side parent company Meta over working conditions. We'll be telling you more about all that in the next moment. Pictures of 8th day October 1623. We'll be telling you more. 47 bodies recovered in Congo River disaster. And then Somaliland children education impacted by recurring drought. So let me bring you the first one. A Somali television journalist was killed on Monday evening in a suicide bombing at a restaurant in Mogadishu, police have said. Abdi Fattah Molim Nurkuz, who worked for Somali cable television, was fatally injured in the explosion at the Blue Sky restaurant near the National Museum. At around 21 hours, Kawaji, 21 hours, a Kawaji suicide bomber detonated explosive on people who were having tea outside the Blue Sky restaurant in Bondi district. Police in Mogadishu said in a brief statement. Now, Kawaji or deviants is a term the government uses to refer to Al-Shabaab. Now, 4 other people were injured in the explosion, according to the police. Now, security forces provided assistance to those impacted by the attack. Police said there is an ongoing investigation and any updates will be shared with the public. But on X, Somalia strongly denounces the suicide bombing attack that killed our colleague journalist Abdifatah Molim, no case, on Monday evening Mogadishu time. The session case worked for confirmed his death in a Facebook post. It said Hughes was the director of the station's branch in Mogadishu. He was pronounced dead after we brought him to Recep Tayyip Erdogan Hospital, said Adi Shaka Mohammed, who was among the journalists who took Keys to the hospital. He had shrapnel on the upper part of his body, he told a VOA Somali girl. But listeners, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. A sad one there, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. Starr Radio UK. Still on the African continent and looking at what is happening there. Now, Kenyan, the lawyer representing 184 former Facebook content moderators based in Kenya who sued the site's parent company Meta over working conditions and pay told the judge on Monday that Meta has not been sincere in trying to reach an out-of-court settlement as agreed in the last court session. Now, lawyer Mercy Motemi said the talks had collapsed and the former moderators want to proceed with a contempt of court case against Meta. The petitioners gave it their best efforts. They attended every mediation. The respondent asked for information which we gave them. They kept saying they would get back to us by a certain date, but only got back to us at the end of last week with a very small amount that cannot even take care of the petitioner's mental health, she told the court. She described Meta as not genuine. The moderators were employed via Sama, a San Francisco subcontractor that described itself as an ethical AI company, to work in its hub in the capital Nairobi. Their job entailed screening user content in 12 African languages and removing any uploads deemed to breach the Facebook community standards and terms of service. Now, some of the petitioners have told Associated Press that their job required them to watch horrific content for 8 hours a day that overwhelmed many of them while being paid 60,000 Kenyan shillings or $414 a month. They accused Sama of doing little to ensure post-traumatic professional counseling was offered. They are seeking $1.6 billion in compensation. Boy, oh boy. Meanwhile, that's why Meta said they will be getting back to them. But well, it's a suit. Let's see how it all pans out. Okay. It's all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, the sinking of a boat called Wala on Friday on the Congo River left at least 47 dead and an unknown number missing, the Minister of Transport of the Democratic Republic of Congo said on Monday evening. The previous reports communicated on Sunday by the authorities of the province of Equator Northwest reported at least 28 dead and dozens missing. According to the information collected early on Monday afternoon by the river commissioner on site, we had 47 bodies recovered, declared the Minister of Transport Mark Ekila during a press briefing with his counterpart from the Communications and government spokesperson Patrick Muyaya. As the boat was in an irregular situation, we were unable to have the manifest to determine exactly the number of passengers who were on board, he added. The accident was due to overloading, according to the minister, who also recalled the wooden boats were not authorized to sail at night. The accident was due to, the whaler was leaving Mbandaka for the territory of Bolomba in the province of Equator when it capsized during the night from Friday to Saturday. We have asked the provincial authorities to set up a commission of inquiry, added the Minister of Transport. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, the Angolan president has delivered a State of the Nation's address, and this time around trying to reach out to his opponents. The parliamentary year began on Monday, October 16 in Angola with a message on the state of the nation by the head of state. João Lourenço's address came after an extraordinary parliamentary session convened to consider a proposal of the main opposition group to impeach him. The president seemingly rebutted a request by the president of the UNITA opposition party to take the floor. Any citizen who wanted to make a speech on the state of the nation will be illegitimately exercising the powers that the Constitution gives exclusively to the head of state, João Lourenço said. Lourenço dealt mainly with economic issues and the state of Angola's public finances in the first part of his speech. He also highlighted the progress delivered by his administration. The speech drew shouts from the opposition and applause from the lawmakers of the ruling party, MPLA. It was a speech that reflected the state of the nation as we are. The president's speech made a passage to all sectors, highlighting the investments that are being made, those that will be inaugurated by 2024, and those that are being implemented, Joanna Thomas, MPLA MP, said. Angola's president stressed that he would continue with the process of withdrawing fuel subsidies and acknowledge the possibility of reducing the VAT on some products. Now, measures that failed to convince the opposition. It's a record that I consider to be negative. That it is so. It is to say that after the election that took place last year, it would have been very pleasant to have a country at a political, economic, and even at the social level that was different. João Lourenço anticipates a slowdown in economic activity, which will be offset by expected growth in the non-oil sector. Angola's National Assembly is made up of 220 deputies, the ruling MPLA party holding absolute majority. Well, if they hold an absolute majority and you say it's the rule of law or democracy that pertains, then that's going to be a different ball game. For him trying to outwit, or his opponents trying to outwit him there. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now, for those of you who are Africans or undocumented, hundreds of undocumented workers launched a coordinated strike movement in more than 30 companies in Lady, France on Tuesday morning to denounce their over-exploitation and demand their regularization. In total, around 500 people, mainly from Africa, occupy 33 construction, logistics, cleaning, even distribution companies on Tuesday, where they are employed mainly in Paris and Saint-Denis. Now, a few steps from the Senate de France, 34 of them entered the headquarters of a temporary employment company in Saint-Denis, for which they are employed as garbage collectors or construction workers, particularly on construction sites, Olympic Games, and Greater Paris. Now, accompanied by union activists, they displayed the CGT banner and promised to occupy the premises until their regularization. Boy, oh boy, they are bold, aren't they? The majority of strikers work as temporary workers for subcontractors for the benefit of giants like giants like Veolia, Chronopos, and Carrefour, which makes it possible to mask the exploitation of these undocumented immigrants, denounce in a communication the CGT, which supports their action, said, "We are on strike in our companies to win our regularization and our rights, assure those concerned in this text. We want to make things happen," explained Mamadou Kebe, who obtained his regularization after a year of strike between October 2008 and 2009. These workers must be able to enjoy the rights for which they contribute and pay taxes, judged the man who now leads the immigration collective of the CGT 93. Between 7,000 and 10,000 workers are regularized each year, insufficient for the CGT, which estimates this workforce at several hundreds of thousand people. In Ile-de-France, immigrants represent 40 to 62% of workers in the home help, construction, hotel, catering, cleaning, security, agri-food sector, insists the union in its press release. Quite an interesting one, and a huge margin there. But what do you think? What's going to happen to them? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on straight to Ghana as well. Now, the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, on Monday, October 16, stirred controversy when he subtly reminded some victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage at Mepe in the Volta region about the fact that he had visited to sympathize with them, regardless of the fact that the residents there do not vote for his party. The flooding caused by the spillage from the Akosombo and Pound hydro dams had forced many communities in the north, south and central Tongo district of the Volta region to evacuate, leaving them no choice but to try and salvage what's left of their belongings. The situation is dire, with staff at the Komboni Hospital having to evacuate their quarters and seek shelter under pavilion. A picture in front of me is not a happy one at all. Now, patients have also been discharged with only 10 in critical condition remaining. If the water levels do not recede soon, they may also have to be discharged. Touring the district severely hit by the unfortunate situation, President Akufo-Addo assured that government is going to do everything in its power to make sure that the situation is resolved. My visit is very simple. One, it is to come and sympathize and commiserate with you about a tragedy that has occurred when it happened. I was in America on an official business, and the chief of staff called me in America about what had happened, and we discussed what had to be done. Now, we agreed to establish an inter-ministerial committee to coordinate government response to the tragedy. The president also assured the victims of the flooding of more relief items. He added that 9 safe havens have been established in Mepe for those displaced to ensure their safety, adding that all the victims in the shelters have been provided relief. It is NADMO's intention to continue the exercise of providing relief items. Now, touching on the destroyed of farmlands, President Akufo-Addo assured that the Ministry of Finance, Food and Agriculture will team up with his office to fashion out a comprehensive solution to deal with the challenges. According to him, although he did not garner enough votes from the region, he was present there to sympathize with them as a leader of the country. He therefore urged Ghanaians to desist from politicizing such occurrences. Well, what do you think about that? It's quite an interesting one, isn't it? But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, let me bring this one out and we move on from Ghana as well. And this pertains to one of the police officers who was caught up on the leak tape scandal. Contrary to suggestions that the leak tape scandal revealing an alleged plot to get the Inspector General of Police, COP George Akufu Dampare, removed from office may have hugely embarrassed his supposed plotters. The police commissioner at the center of the allegation, COP George Alex Mensah, retired now, says the incident has been a blessing to him. The man, who had been on leave prior to officially retiring on September 18, 2023, after 31 years in the service, was heard on a leaked tape running down Dr. Dampare's administration and suggesting that he was not going to help the governing party if he was to stay in office till 2024 elections. He was in the company of another senior police officer, Superintendent George Asare, together with a former Northern Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bugri Nabu, who has admitted recording the conversation. Now, COP Alex Mensah, retired, has since appeared before a parliamentary committee tasked with investigating the content of the tape, where he made further damning claims about the IGP, describing him as the worst IGP the service has ever seen. Now, while the parliamentary committee is yet to submit its report after interrogating the parties in the matter, including the IGP, the now retired COP Alex Mensah, who appears unperturbed about the turn of events, told some journalists that the entire episode has been a blessing to him. Asked whether he had any regrets for what had happened, he retorted, "No, never. You see, God has his own way of blessing people. Had it not been for this tape, maybe we wouldn't have been here. My name and my picture wouldn't have been where it is circulating now. Now, if you go to my constituency, everybody knows me. Everybody's looking for me. My friends who have not heard from me for years are calling me from the US, UK, and Germany, or everywhere. God has his own way of bringing up somebody. Sometimes you will not understand, but at the end of the day, you will understand and say, I thought that this was a problem, but that was the way the Lord is using it to bring you up. Interesting one there, how we spin religiosity when it comes to issues like this. Well, it says God has helped him, and now he's very popular. But for that, I wouldn't have known him, would I? But now I know him. That is somebody says. Remember back in the day during former President Rawlings' time, during the revolution time, and some teachers were taken to a place where I think they were undertaking this loading cocoa beans onto trucks and doing all those things. And one of them was saying they will not stand for. He wanted to say sabotage. He said sabotages. Now he was a teacher, and I laughed my head off at the time. Now so. Now he's popular. He's a sabotager, isn't he? Sabotaging the IGP. Well, he said it's a blessing to him. And what do you see and how do you see it? It's all coming away from Starr Radio, okay? Now we move on quickly to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world as well. Well, in other parts of the world, yesterday they talked about some of the African leaders going to China for the Belt and Road Initiative conference. Now, is China $1 trillion gamble worth it? China is throwing a huge party to celebrate one of its biggest experiments in engaging with the world, its Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. Now, officials and leaders from all over the group are in Beijing attending a high-level summit marking the BRI's 10th anniversary. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban have arrived. Wow! And the Taliban government will also attend. The Chinese media is awash with coverage of the BRI achievement, including a 6-part of documentary on the state TV. A signature policy of President Xi Jinping, the BRI is aimed at stitching China closer to the world through investment and infrastructure projects. With an unprecedented glut of cash pumped into nearly 150 countries, China boasts it has transformed the world, and it's not wrong. Now, but Beijing's massive gamble hasn't entirely gone the way it had hoped. Was it? Worth it at all? That's a question on the lips of most people. From the moment the BRI was unveiled in 2013, with comparisons to the ancient Silk Road, it was clear China has sprawling ambitions. Belt refers to overland routes connecting China to Europe through Central Asia, as well as to South Africa and South Asia and Southeast Asia, while road denotes maritime networking link China to major ports through Asia to Africa and Europe. It started off with heavy state-driven investment into hard infrastructure abroad. Most of the estimated $1 trillion has been poured into energy and transport projects such as power plants and railways. Now, Beijing touted this as an economic win-win. It told the other countries these investments would stimulate development, while at home it sold the BRI as a way to help Chinese companies boost the economy and banish the country's reputation. Now, it had limited success in meeting some goals, such as internationalizing the yuan and solving the Chinese companies' overcapacity. But China reaped a huge economic benefit in trade. A slew of agreements brought access to more resources such as oil, gas, and minerals, especially as BRI focuses widened to include Africa, South Africa, and the Middle East. About $19.1 trillion of goods were traded between China and BRI countries in the past decade. So that's a good one for them. Now, it's about China's state-owned enterprises going abroad to help facilitate the flow of resources that China needs, said Jacob Gunter, a senior analyst at the Mercator Institute for China Studies. It's also about expanding and developing export markets as alternatives to the liberal developed world. Well, it's quite an interesting one. Belt and Road Initiative. Now, how has it impacted your country if you are listening to us, wherever you are listening to us from? It's quite an interesting one, isn't it? Okay. Now, yesterday there was that information going on pertaining to a shooter, gunman who has shot dead two Swedish nationals. Now, police in Brussels have shot dead the man who killed two Swedish nationals on Monday evening. The 45-year-old man named as Abdey Salem was shot in a cafe in the Sherbik neighborhood. Now, two Swedes were killed and a third injured in the automatic rifle attack on Monday. It took place on Boulevard Ypres, 5 kilometers from the stadium where Belgium was playing Sweden to qualify for the Euro 2024 football tournament. Brussels has been on its highest terror alert ever since. The gunman is believed to be a man of Tunisian origin who was in Belgium illegally after his asylum application was rejected in 2020. He posted a video online saying he had killed people in the name of God, and the prosecutor's office believed he was inspired by Islamic State groups. Belgian Interior Minister Annelies Valendien told the Flemish public broadcaster VRT that automatic weapons found on him were the same as the one used on Monday's attacks. The Prime Minister Alexander De Croo called Monday's shooting a harrowing act of terrorism. In a press conference on Tuesday, and prosecutors said the likely motive were the victim's nationality. Sweden's foreign ministry sent a text message to citizens in Belgium telling them to be vigilant. Boy, oh boy. Okay, Starr Radio UK. My apologies there for that yawn. You know what happened? Because the AC is on. My producer has turned the AC on, so I'm chilling out, and that's why. All right then. So now let's move on straight on. Now we're getting to the final stages of the program. Gaza refugee camp have been reduced to rubble as the Israeli siege of Gaza continues. The area is on the edge of catastrophe. In Khan Younis in the south, hundreds of thousands of people have arrived after Israel warned them to leave the north. The people are sleeping in the streets. Running water is limited, and there are queues for the bread outside bakeries. Israel has blocked supplies of food, water, fuel, electricity since the deadly Hamas attack on the 7th of October. But Israel's military denies there is a humanitarian crisis, insisting there are supplies of water and electricity from where. The U.S. President Joe Biden will visit Israel on Wednesday to hear about its plans for a ground attack in Gaza. A 13-year-old British girl who went missing when Hamas attacked Kibbutz Be'eri is now confirmed to have been killed. So coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Now in the UK front as well, Rolls-Royce has announced plans to add up to 2,500 jobs globally to create a more efficient and effective company. It is the first major move by Tufan Egin-Bilgic, who, on becoming chief executive in January, described Rolls-Royce as a burning platform. The company, which makes engines for aircraft, is based in Derby. It employs 42,000 people around the world, with about half based in the UK. It was hit hard by the pandemic when air travel was grounded for months. Rolls-Royce did not give details of where the job cuts will fall, but reports have suggested that the hundreds of back office posts will be affected in the UK. Engineering giant said it needed to engage with unions before making further announcements. How is it going to be? How is it going to pan out? Rolls-Royce employs 13,700 people in Derby and 3,400 in Bristol, and has a smaller basis in Lancashire, Glasgow, Tyne and Ware and Rotherham. It's understood its submarines division in Derby, which is funded by the Ministry of Defence and employs 3,600 people, will be unaffected by the cuts. The company's small modular reactor nuclear program, a joint venture with partners in Qatar and the US, will also be untouched. However, operations in Germany, where the company employs 11,000 people, are expected to be badly hit, particularly of the power systems engine building operations in the south of the country. Now, Rolls-Royce said the planned changes will remove duplication and deliver cost efficiency. We are building a Rolls-Royce that is fit for the future, said Mr. Egin-Bilgic. Okay, well, the new boss of Rolls-Royce. Okay. Let me bring you this one. Now, if in a 30-mile per hour zone, a police car pursuing or rushing to a particular event or issue speeds up to 62 miles per hour, which are in serious haste, to either sort of crime, or help salvage somebody or save somebody, would you say, if it is you that they are coming to help, that they should slow down and drive very gently in all the roads, so the 20 miles per hour, doing 20 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour, doing 30 miles, adhering to the rate, and then the criminals, this around, fleeing from them, driving fast to get away? Well, somebody say, if you've fallen victim, or a member of your family or your loved one has fallen victim to any of these speeds, you will say that no, we think that has to be done. Speed limits should apply. But the father of a woman knocked down and killed by a police car traveling at 62 miles per hour in a 30 miles per hour zone moments before it hit her has called for a speed cap for police officers in built-up areas. Jade Mutua, 22, died after she was hit by the Met police car in Kensington, West London in August 2019. The police watchdog has said that the driving police officer was not at fault. Ms. Mutua's father, Jamin Lakmidas, has said a legal speed limit for police officers will save lives. Now, it's not like we just hear them all speeding up. They have their sirens. So you hear that. The moment we hear that when you are driving, you step aside. So why was the person in the middle of the road? Why was the person trying to cross the road at that time? It's like saying that the police, when they wear guns in town, it's scary, so they shouldn't. But when there are maybe attacks, terrorist attacks or incidents that they need to, how do they even get to the place? Well, an inquest into her death, which ended last week at Westminster Coroner's Court, concluded Miss died as a result of a road traffic accident. Now, Miss Mutua's death follows the case of Shanti Daniel Fox, 25, who was also hit and killed by a Met police car, this time in Brixton, South London, on the 9th of June 2021. Her parents also want to see police officers subjected to a speed cap in built-up areas. Now, police officers, a police officer was jailed for 3 years after admitting causing death by dangerous driving in the case of Miss Danielle Fox. He had been traveling 84 miles in a built-up area seconds before the crash. At the sentencing hearing in February, Judge Mark Lookcraft, KC, called for the Met Police to consider a setting maximum speed limit for officers responding to incidents in residential areas. The IOPC said it was planning to make a formal learning recommendation to the force on a speed cap policy following the case. Mr. Laxmidas said Miss Mutua had been training to be a social worker when she was hit by the Mark police car on Warwick Road on the 13th of August 2019. It's a sad one. She died 2 days later in hospital when her life support machine was switched off. Mr. Lakmida said he was shocked to hear the driving officer talk at the inquest about how fast the Met police drive when responding to an incident. He called for a change in the law so that police officers are limited to a maximum speed on the call out. But what do you do when you have the criminals speeding ahead, flying like no man's business? What do you do? Is it collateral damage? What do you think about all that? Well, listeners, well, this is where I bring the program to a close for today. I'll be coming your way tomorrow, God willing, with the Wednesday edition of the Morning Show. But like I said earlier on, this afternoon exactly at 1:30, we're going to be having BB Clement. So in the next 58 minutes, BB Clement will be coming away with BB Means Business. So stay tuned, don't you go away, but enjoy this tune whilst I take my leave. Okay. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's take this commercial whilst I line up the song for you and then bring the program to a close. Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life take...
Yeah, well, hail and welcome to the 75th celebration return of the King. Love.
1, 2, 3.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
This is Starr Radio UK.
We refuse to be what you wanted us to be.